Yeah, so I'm just starting. Discussed yesterday. Right. So we can revise in few seconds on the steps. Right. So let me start my video. Yeah. Yeah. So thing is that we can start the. We can do some kind of a 2 minutes revision what we have learned till now. I will provide you the study materials so you can do it by your own. Yeah. So basically thing is like what we have covered till now, be focused, we try to remember what we have covered till now, because revision is also important so that you will be able to understand the new concepts easily. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, so what we have covered till now, we have covered what is software testing. As you all can see that this is the process of executing an application with an intention of finding a bug. Okay, and basically we do testing so that our application will be completed, corrected, and we maintain the quality of our software. Right. So this is the basic what is software testing. Then we have covered why do we need testing. Okay, then we have covered why do we need testing. So as you know, we need testing for the customer satisfaction, to make our software more reliable and easy to use, and to maintain the quality of the product. Okay, and it helps us to discover the bug or defect in the early phase. Right, then we have our roles and responsibilities. Being a tester, your role is to analyze the requirements given by the client, creation of test cases, execution, finding a defect or bug, preparing a defect reports and the daily status report, interacting with the client to understand the requirements, client meetings, review meetings, participate in review and daily stand-up meetings, where in daily stand-up meetings you will tell what you have done yesterday, what you are going to do tomorrow, and what are the obstacles which you are facing. Right, so being a tester, it's your responsibility to ensure the quality of a project is maintained. Okay, then going forward, we have categorized the testing into two categories. One is manual testing, second is automation testing. Manual testing, by the name itself, it is the manual efforts. It is the human efforts. Like you are doing by your own fingers on the keyboard. That is the manual efforts. And what do you mean by automation? Automation testing is when we are doing testing with the help of any tool. Right, with the help of any tool. If we are doing testing without the help of any tool, right, then that is the manual testing. But when we are doing testing with the help of a tool, that is called the automation testing. Okay, then yeah, so okay, fine. So that's what we have covered. Manual testing is nothing but we test the client requirement. Okay, and we perform automation testing only when we completed the manual testing. We cannot directly jump to the automation testing. Manual testing is A and automation testing is B. First we will cover A, then we will navigate to B. We cannot directly jump to the automation testing. Okay, then why do we need manual testing? Because by this testing, we can make the application bug-free, stable, and we can deliver a quality product. By testing, our product is defect-free, bug-free. So we can ensure that quality of the product is maintained. Then what is the advantage? So advantage is like it is cost effective, because in this we don't have to use the licensed tools or the tools which is very costly, which only big companies can afford. So this is cost effective, easy to learn, because in manual testing you don't need different language like Java, .NET, right? Any fresher can easily pick up the testing, because it doesn't require any precondition to get. It doesn't require any knowledge of the languages, right? So and yeah, and if the requirements are changing every now and then, Suppose in the morning client said do this, in the evening client said no, not do that, now do this. So in that you can easily manipulate your test cases. Okay, then disadvantage is like in manual testing, company has to hire a large number of resources, right? Uh, and this is little time consuming, because whenever human put any effort, that is time consuming. Whenever any machine or any tool is doing, that is less time consuming. Like for example, if you are washing your clothes by your own hand, it will be time consuming. But if the clothes has been washed through the washing machine, that is the less time effective, right? Because human is not involved in that. Then we have our types of manual testing. It is categorized white box, black box, gray box, right? We as a tester only do gray box testing. White box testing is being done by the developer because it requires the knowledge of a code, internal application code. And being a tester, you don't understand the code because you have not created the application. So white box testing done by the developer. Gray box testing is done by a candidate who knows development as well as testing. The combination of development and testing is the gray box testing. The combination of white box and black box testing is called gray box testing, right? And black box testing is nothing. We as a tester do black box testing. It is nothing but the functional testing, not based on any knowledge of a internal software design or code. Suppose you have to test any mobile phone. So if you are testing the mobile phone through the functionality, through the keyboard only, through the front part, that is called the function testing. You are checking whether we can send the message through mobile or not, whether SIM is inserted correct or not, whether we will be able to open the app, whether we will be able to download from the Play Store. All these are functionalities. You know, you don't have a knowledge how mobile phone has been created. You don't know the internal of the mobile. You only know the functionality, right? So whatever functionality testing, you will do it on any application without the knowledge of internal design or code, internal thing, right? Suppose you have to test the fridge or television. You will test it through remote control. You can't open the television and check the circuits, and inside it you doesn't have a knowledge. You are not an electrician. You doesn't have a knowledge of the internal machine. Okay, so that is why you only do the testing of the functionality. That is called the black box testing, and it is based on the requirement which is given by the client. Black box testing is always being done by the tester. Then what we have covered till now is software development life cycle and testing life cycle. Whenever whenever developer will create a new application, he will follow the SDLC steps. Whenever tester will test the application, like you guys are testers, whenever you will test the application, you will follow the STLC, software testing life cycle. So these are the steps. When we will give you the study material, you can easily go through it. Okay, this is very important. This is the basics you should know, right? Then we have already discussed stages of SDLC: requirement gathering, design, coding, testing, deployment, maintenance. We have already covered it. Software testing life cycle, requirement gathering, test plan creation, yeah, test case creation, test case execution, defect logging, bug reporting, and closure activity. This we have already discussed. You can easily go through it. And if you have any doubts, you feel free to ask me, right? So this diagram you should learn by heart. What is software development life cycle and STLC testing life cycle, right? Then we have a different levels of testing: unit, integration, system acceptance. As we discussed, unit testing is nothing but the testing of a code, single code, single testing of a one module, one code. And testing of a code itself says guys, you don't have the knowledge of a code. You don't know language Java, .NET. So unit testing is only being done by the development team, by the developers. Then we have a integration testing. By the name itself, integration means integration of the different modules. We do integrate different modules and test at one go. Okay, then we have a system testing. That means testing the complete system at once as a whole, like testing the complete Facebook application called the system testing. Then we have acceptance testing. By the name itself, yesterday we have discussed in deep. Acceptance testing means client will do some kind of a testing before he or she will accept the application, right? Whenever you have completed your testing and you will deliver the product to the client, boss, I have completed the testing, application is working fine. Okay, now this is the application, you just take this application. Then client will not trust you blindly. He will take the application and first he will test in front of you. Then he will take the application and go into his own company, and there with their own members he will test it. If that test will get passed, if everything goes fine, that means acceptance testing is passed, is completed, and client will accept the application. And if he find the major defects, if he doesn't find the application stable, he will reject the application by saying go and test it again. Okay, then so these are the levels: unit integration, system acceptance testing. Unit testing, test the individual component. Integration, test integrated component. System, test the entire system. Acceptance, test the final system. The final product testing called the acceptance testing. This we have already covered. Okay, and acceptance testing means divided into alpha and beta. Alpha is nothing but at your own company. Okay, you are testing in front of the client, that is called alpha testing. And beta testing, when client tests the application in its own company, in their own place, that is called beta testing. Okay, then we have, 1 second, yeah, then we have, then being a tester, you should know when to start and stop testing. It should not like you are taking one functionality and testing the for 4 5 years. No, you should know when to start and stop testing. So when to start testing, it depends. When you get all the prerequisite, when you get the requirement document, when your manager asks, please, uh, uh, Sita, Geeta, whatever, please start the testing now. When you understand the application, when you have the complete document, you can start your testing, right? And when to stop testing, when all your test cases being passed certain percentage, when your boss said now we should stop the testing, we don't have a budget. When your testing will reach to a certain point, you can say, boss, I have tested all the functionalities of the Facebook. Now I can see Facebook is working fine. Then you can stop your testing. When beta or alpha testing period ends, when client has done the acceptance testing and said, boss, I am accepting this application, it is working fine, then you can stop your testing. When there will be no high priority and critical bugs, if everything goes well, then you can stop the testing. And sometimes it happens from the IT industry, you should know what is a build, right? Sometimes your manager say, please test this build. So you should know what does it mean. Build is nothing but a compiled form of a code. It's nothing, just just the code, but in front of you it is just the application, nothing. But in terms of technically, it is a compiled form of a code. Then we have a different thing like test case. You all know test case is nothing but a set of steps or actions which a software engineer has to perform to verify the expected functionality of the feature. When we will create the test case, then you will get to know this thing very well. Then we have a bug leak or defect leak. From the name itself, it is mentioned leak. Suppose you have tested the application and you have given to the client, okay, but you have not tested it thoroughly. Somehow few defects got leaked. Few defects you are not able to find out that defect, but when you have delivered the application to the client, then at that time client found a major bug, then that is called the defect leak or the bug leak. But when client is doing testing and if the client finds any defect, that is called the bug leak or the defect leak. Right now, being a good test engineer, you should have a strong desire for quality. You should have that diplomatic and tact behavior. You should know how to break the application, how to find more number of defects, right? And and obviously prior experience is always a plus point, right? Then we have a what is the difference between system and integration testing? It's very simple. System testing, by the name itself, it is a testing from end to end, the testing of a complete system, entire system from end to end. Integration is the testing of a few modules. It is the testing when we are combining few modules, not the complete application, right? Not the complete application, but the testing of the one or two modules. Okay, combination of the modules, right? Then we have a positive and negative testing. Positive testing is nothing when you are testing any functionality with the correct test data, with the correct set of test data. Suppose I explained you, suppose in Facebook you have a enter username, enter password. If you are giving correct value in the enter username, suppose username will only be accepting alphabets, and if you are checking that user text box with the alphabets only, that is called the positive testing. And if you are checking that user box with the special characters or numbers, so that then it will throw a red mark error. That will say please enter only characters. So when you are testing with the incorrect test of data, okay, which will throw a error, that is called the negative testing. Then what we have, yeah, so then we should know what is a bug, defect and error. These three are almost same, only the slight difference is there, slight difference. Okay, so like bug is nothing, but when you as a tester find any bug, any fault in the software, that is called the bug, right? when uh, when that bug, then suppose you are find, well, this is a bug, and but development team said no, 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 this is not a bug, this is the correct functionality, right? So this is one thing. But when developer also accepts the bug, yeah, you are right, tester, this is a bug only, you are right, this is not expected, and actual is different, you are right, this is a bug. If developer accept it, that means that is called a defect. Till the time developer will not accept the bug, because developer has to fix it, you only has to log it, you only has to raise the bug, but who will do the fixing? Developer. If developer will accept it, if developer will accept your bug, that is called the defect. And now the thing is like error is nothing but it is just a, like it is just a little mistake or font in the application, very simple. Then okay, then there is two terminology, that is verification and validation and testing. Okay, so what do you mean by verification? Verification is just verifying the documents, because in the IT industry when you start your testing, there will be few documents, everything is like scripted in a certain document. Okay, that is called the static technique. Testing is done without executing the code, without doing any executing, without writing test cases, without only reviewing inspection and walkthrough of the documents. Only we will review all the documents like SRS, function document, test plan document. That is called the verification. We will verify whether whatever written in the document is correct or not. And now the validation, that is the dynamic technique. That means in validation, we do the testing by executing the code or executing the application. Okay, this is called the validation. By the name itself, verification is the verifying of the documents. Validation is the actual testing. Okay, so if someone asks you what is verification and validation, you should know this. Then the very important, most important thing is regression testing, right? Regression testing. Regression, by the name itself, it always mean if any small change in one part of the system, it should not break the other existing functionalities. Suppose by testing, you will be able to find the defect only in the Facebook story part, right? You will find the defect only in the Facebook story part. Okay, then you will find a defect, boss, I'm unable to upload any story. This is the defect. Or might be you can say, I will be able to upload the story in the Facebook, but that story is not accepting any music or any song. So that is a defect, right? So when you will say, developer, please fix it, because I'm unable to upload any, I'm unable to apply any music in my Facebook story. This is a defect. Expected is कि we should be able to apply the music, because everyone is aware of the Facebook application. And when we create any new story, right, in the Facebook, we can add the tagging part, we can add the location, we can add the music, right? In Insta or maybe Facebook story, we can add the music as well, different songs. So if you are unable to do it, that means that is a defect, right? You will give to the development team, boss, this is not working, please fix it. Okay, then when development team will fix it, he will give you the application, Facebook application again, and say, now test it. Now you will be able to apply the music in your Facebook story, right? That time, being a tester, you will test that story thing, but along with it, you will test the other functionalities as well, like album pics, uploading pics, commenting part, right? Uploading the post, reels, settings, everything. You will test the other functionality as well, so that it has been cleared that whatever developer has done, a new change, a new fix, it should not have any bad impact on the other functionalities. Other functionalities should also work along with the story functionality, right? So this is called the regression testing. When regression testing will be done, when any new functionalities are added, when any change in the requirement, when there is a defect fix, when any environment changes, when there is a patch fix. That means whenever defect fix, change in requirement, if anything modification has been done, we have to do the regression, a one round of regression testing, to check whether all the things are working fine or not. Okay, yeah, so this is the one thing. Okay, then we have a types of a different testing. Okay, so this is the diagram which will help you to understand the hierarchy of the different testing, right? Like we have a type of software testing categorized into manual and automation testing. As we discussed, in the manual testing, we have a white box, black box, gray box, that we have already discussed. Then in the black box, we have a two types of a, because from the testing point of view, you will be only responsible for the black box testing. You will not do white box nor the gray box. So from the black box point of view, it will be categorized into two categories. That is, first is function testing, and second is non-functional testing, right? So functional testing, you do, yeah, one second, yeah, function testing, non-function testing. So functional testing will be categorized into unit testing, integration, and system testing, that we have already discussed. And non-functional testing means performance testing, usability testing, compatibility testing. Performance testing means how your application is performing. When, you know, like when half of the India is using Facebook at one time, then it should not be slow. Its performance should be good enough, so that all can use at one time, because now Facebook and Instagram, like, millions of people are using at one time. So its performance should also, so performance tester will take care of the performance activity that will come under non-function testing. Okay, usability testing means it is nothing but user friendly. Whether uh, the audience will be comfortable in using the application, whether it is user friendly or not. Suppose suppose if a Facebook application has been created in such a way that you find it difficult to use, right, but you find it easy to use because it is user friendly, then we have a compatibility testing. That means any application, it should be compatible with different browsers. Like if you will open the Facebook application, uh, in your laptop or desktop, right, then you will open it, you should be open it in the Chrome as well as Firefox as well as Edge as well as Internet Explorer. So all the four browsers should open the Facebook application. That means your application is compatible with all the browsers. Okay, then performance testing will be divided into load testing, stress, and stability testing. Load stress, by the name itself, when so many people are using Facebook application at one time, that means the uh, a load tester will do the load testing. Stress testing, right, that is also the kind of a same thing. Then in the integration testing, we have a different kind of a testing: incremental and non-incremental. Incremental testing, top down approach based on and bottom up. You don't have to go deep into this, you should only know the categorization. Okay, then if I will take, okay, so let's take okay, let's take into little bit into a deep, right. So as we know, testing categorized into manual automation. Manual is nothing but the testing of the application without the need, without the use of any tool. Okay, and manual testing will be divided into white box, black box, and gray box testing, right. One second. Yeah. One minute. Okay, so yeah, so the white box, black box, gray box. White box testing is also known as open box, structural, clear box, transparent box. You just remember the name, nothing to do because it is the role of the developers. Black box testing is nothing but the testing the functionality of an application as per the client requirement. Okay, yeah, so that is known as black box testing. Then yeah, then we have a black box testing will be divided into function, non-function, what we have discussed earlier. Okay, function testing is nothing, but it in this we will check all the components are working fine against the requirement. All the functionality is working fine as per the requirement document. That is called as function testing. It is also known as component testing. That means you will test a particular component or particular module or particular functionality. Okay, and function testing, these are the function testing, unit testing, integration system, which we have already discussed, right. Unit integration system testing. And now the what exactly, now the second part is the non-function testing. Okay, in next part, black box testing divide into functional and non-functional. Functional is nothing but it is the unit integration system testing. Unit will be done by the development team. System and integration testing you will do, tester will do. Okay, non-function testing is the testing of a, you can as what load testing, what we have discussed. It is the performance testing in non-function testing, usability testing, and the compatibility testing. Okay, performance, we will check the performance of the application is working fine or not, its slowness. Okay, it should be user friendly, that is usability, and the application should be compatible with different browsers. Like your application should work in Facebook as well as sorry, in Chrome as well as Firefox, Internet, everywhere should work. Suppose you open the application in your laptop, it will open in the Chrome, but it will not open in the Firefox. That is wrong. It should open in on the browsers. Why it is opening in on the browser? Because Facebook management has already done the compatibility testing for the Facebook application, right? So these are the type of non-function testing. In performance testing, the test engineer will test the working of an application by applying some load. By applying some load, that means uh, he will test the application. Suppose he has to check the performance testing for the Facebook application, then what he will do, he will try uploading huge size pictures in the Facebook. He will try commenting a big summary in the Facebook, and he will check when there is so much load in the functionality, that time Facebook performance is working fine or not. Okay, so he will check for the load, response time, and everything, right? Then we have a classification. 1 second. Yeah. Then we have a classification of non-function testing. Okay, so as we know, type performance, usability, compatibility testing. Performance testing is nothing but we test the performance of an application by applying some load. Then performance testing divided into the load testing, stress, scalability testing, and stability testing. We generally do the last two. You should only know the load testing and stress testing. Okay, load testing is nothing but we will test the performance of the application when we will apply some load on the particular application. Like I have given you the example, that load means when someone uploading the very huge size pictures on the Facebook, when someone tests the performance uh, by giving a big summary in the comment section, that is all load we are giving to the Facebook application. In that time its performance should be good. It should not be like your Facebook is getting very slow in terms of speed. No, your performance should be good enough. Okay, this is called the load testing. Okay, then we have a stress testing. It is nothing but we check the user friendliness of the software beyond the certain limit. That means uh, suppose that means when like millions of people are using the Facebook application at one time, that time it should be user friendly, it should have a good performance, right? So like that is called the stress testing. I mean, when so many millions of people are using at one time, that means Facebook can take the load. That is called the stress testing. Okay, then we have a usability testing. That is another type of non-function testing. In usability testing, we will analyze the user friendliness of an application. User friendliness means like now everyone, even the 10th class student are very I find it he will find the Instagram and Facebook very easy in using, because Facebook and Instagram is created in such a way that any user, any 10th class, 8th class, 7th class candidate can easily use the application Insta and Facebook, because that is quite easy to use. That is not complicated. Okay, so that is called the user friendliness. User will be very easily get a friendship with Facebook and Insta. Okay, this is called the usability testing. That means the application should be easy to understand it, and you can use it with your good ease. It is easy to use, and the application look and feel should be good enough. Suppose when you see the Facebook application and Instagram, you can easily locate where to put the comment, where to put the story, because the look and feel is quite simple. It is not complicated that you have to Google it, how to upload the pics. No, it is very simple, and look wise it is very good. You can easily you can easily see and find out, right? So this is called the usability testing. Then we have a compatibility testing. As we know that we will check the functionality of an application with the different software environment, with the different browsers, with the different hardware. Suppose your Facebook application is opening in the mobile, right? But it is not opening in the laptop, right? So that is wrong. Your Facebook application should be open in laptop as well as desktop, as well as mobile, as well as iPhone, as well as iPad, in all the hardwares. Okay, and in all the environments. That means in Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Edge, in every browser. So why it is working in all the browser and in all the hardware? Because Facebook owner has already asked their team to do the compatibility testing, and their compatibility testing got passed. That is why Facebook application is opening in all the browsers and in all the machines, in all the hardwares. Okay, then we have a, okay, yeah, so then we have a gray box testing that you already know. It is a combination of white box and manual, white box and black box, and gray box testing is performed by a person who knows development as well as testing. Like you are going in a testing field, so you don't know the development, but a person who knows development as well as testing can do the gray box testing. Okay. Okay. So now, as we have categorized the uh, software testing into two broad categories. First is we have categorized into manual testing. Second is automation testing. Manual, by the name itself, it is the human efforts. You are doing testing without the use of any machine or tool. You are doing it manually without any tool, right? That is manual testing. Now what is automation testing means? Automation testing is nothing but we test the application with the help of a tool, with the help like you have a Selenium, QTP. Everyone is aware, everyone is smart to get these names, right? These are very famous names: QTP, Selenium, WebDriver. So these are all other tools. In this, what we do, we automate the manually designed test cases without any human interfere. That means whatever test cases from the manual testers have created, we will execute it through the automation. And when the it will execute through automation, it will not involve the human interference. Machine will do it automatically. So with the help of a tool, whatever testing we are doing, that is called the automation testing. Okay, automation testing is why we are doing, because it enhances the efficiency, productivity, and coverage. That means, as we know, because we are a human, sometimes we can miss any functionality, right? And suppose in a day when we are doing manual testing, we are using our own brain, we are putting the efforts, then you will be able to complete only 20 test cases in a day. But but when we are doing that test cases through automation, we will be able to execute it 50 test cases in one day. So that means it will give them more productivity, right? Suppose, for example, when you are washing your clothes by your own hand, you will be able to wash only 7 8, because else you will get tired, you will be not be able to do it 7 8. But when you are washing your clothes through washing machine, you can put 15 20 clothes. So that means washing machine is giving them more productivity. At the same time, he will washes the 20 clothes, and manually when you are doing, you are washing only the 8 clothes. That means productivity will increase by the washing machine. Okay. Also, we only perform automation testing when manual testing has been done. Okay, so this is the some little bit sequence about the automation. In automation, we create the test script. In manual, we create the test cases. But in automation, we create the test script. Okay, then after test creation of the test script, we execute it. Like we do in manual, we execute the test cases. In automation, we execute the test script. Okay, and then we perform the test automation. Okay, so it's being very simple. In other words, we can say that whenever we are testing an application by using some tools, that is known as automation testing. When we are doing it manually, that is called the manual testing. We will always go for automation testing when your application is already being stable, when you have already tested one or twice, right? If any new functionality, any new requirements coming, suppose any new application is coming your way to test, you cannot directly perform the automation testing. First, you have to done the manual testing to make the features stable. Then only you can proceed with the automation testing, right? We cannot, and also automation testing requires some kind of a programming language. We cannot write the test script or perform without understanding the language. You should know either Java, C Sharp, basics, but you should know a little bit of programming, because without the help knowing the programming, you will be unable to write the scripts. Okay, then we have a these are the types of testing, right? Suppose in software testing, we have a different types of a testing, right? While testing any software on an application, right? These are the few important kind of a testing we generally do when we are pursuing the testing in any project, in any application. Suppose you have been assigned to any project where your manager asks that please perform the smoke testing, please perform the sanity testing, regression testing, acceptance testing, exploratory testing, ad hoc, security. Then you should know what this kind of a testing is, right? So if I will take 1 second. Yeah, so this is other diagram what we have discussed: smoke testing, sanity, regression, user acceptance, exploratory, ad hoc, security. Okay, these are the different types of testing. If someone asks you please name the different type of testing, you can easily name it: smoke testing, sanity testing, regression testing, acceptance, exploratory testing, and ad hoc testing. Okay, you can easily name it. So now if we will take in deep the main definition, then in smoke testing, we test an application basic and critical features before doing one round of a deep and rigorous testing. Means we will test an application basic and critical feature. Suppose you have to test the telephone or the cordless phone. Suppose you have to test, suppose your manager asks कि please perform the smoke testing on the cordless phone, okay, or on landline phone, right? Then what you have to test, if we are talking about the smoke testing, you will only test the basic functionality. Means whether you will whether the landline phone has a current or not, whether it is, whether the cordless phone has been charged or not, whether the current is there, I mean whether the ringtone is there or not. You will test only the basic thing, because if there will be no ringtone, if there will be no current, if your uh, landline line is down, then you will cannot perform the further testing, right? So the basic, the main thing, the basic of testing, that in the landline phone, your landline phone should be charged, your BSNL or Airtel line is up, and ringtone is going on, correct? Ringtone, it should not be engaged, right? Your phone should not be dead, right? Your phone should have some dial tone. That means that only this testing, whatever you do, these four kind of a testing: dial tone testing, phone is not dead, service is up, phone is charged, that is called the smoke testing. Okay, so this is the basic and critical feature, because if service is down, if phone doesn't have a dial tone, you will not be able to proceed it for the testing, because phone is dead for you. Okay, or yeah, so this is the main thing, this is the main so basically in this we will test an application basic and critical features. Okay, then going forward we have a sanity testing. It is nothing. In sanity testing we will test the main functionality of the application. Suppose you have to test the mobile application, then your sanity would be if someone asks you please perform the sanity testing on the mobile phone, then what is your sanity testing? Your sanity testing is whether you will be able to call or not, whether you will be able to receive the incoming call, whether you will be able to text any message, whether you will be able to receive any message. These are the main important functionalities, because everyone is using phone. Oh, why they are using phone? They are using phone to receive or call anyone, right? This is the main functionality of the phone. Mobile phone, nowadays there are so many things in the mobile phone, but the basic work of the mobile phone, that we can call anyone and we can receive the incoming call, we can send the text message and we can receive the text message. So if that both are working fine, okay, that means your main functionality of the phone is working. That means your sanity test is passed, right? So if smoke and sanity will pass, then only you will proceed with further testing. Whenever any application comes to you, your manager asks, boss, please start the testing. So your first thing is you should do the smoke testing. Second is like sanity testing. Then you will proceed further, right? So this is the one thing. So as in the definition, sanity testing, it is used to ensure that your major functionality is working and all the previous bugs has been fixed and no new issues will come up to our way. Okay, sanity, yeah. So basically it will check whether our newly added feature or component is working fine or not. Suppose earlier in Facebook application, we don't have the facility to upload the story, but now we do have the story. But the newly added story functionality, it, it should not impact the other functionalities, and that and even the Facebook owner has added new functionalities, story, emojis, music, everything, but still the complete application is correct and all other features also working fine. That is called the sanity testing. Okay, then as we already discussed, regression testing, that is the very important type of a testing. Being a software tester, you will basically focus into two kind of a testing. One is functional testing. Okay, function testing, whenever you receive any new request, suppose suppose Facebook owner comes with the new functionality. Suppose Facebook owner has invented a new functionality that you can transact the money as well in the Facebook, right? And even say, boss, I have created one functionality like Paytm. Through that, you can send the money and receive the money in the Facebook application, and you have to test it. First time testing, when it will come a new functionality has been come up to your way, that means you are, that time you will do the function testing, right? Then after doing the testing of that payment transaction thing, okay, if you find any defect and if the development team will fix that defect, right, and give it to you back, and again you will test that that defect has been fixed, that time you will check the other functionalities as well. That is called the regression testing. Whenever any changes has been done in the application, whenever any defect got fixed, whenever new functionality added in the application, every time you will perform the regression testing to check it should not have an impact in the other already created functionalities, right? So yeah, so now the thing is like whenever bug is fixed by the developers, and then we will test that feature of the application, right? That time, because right, uh, that time whenever we are testing after fixing of the bug, whatever testing for the whole application we are performing known as regression testing, right? And what about the, now there's two terms, regression and z-testing. Now you will be wondering, someone can ask you, boss, what is the difference between the regression and z-testing? So if suppose any functionality got failed, suppose in the Facebook application, you will be unable to upload the story. That is the defect you will find out, and that you have assigned to the development team. He, like, developer name is Akash. This is the defect, that in the Facebook application I am unable to upload the new story. I am unable to create the new story. Okay, then you will give this, you will log the defect, you will create the defect and send it to Akash. Okay, please fix it. Okay, Facebook, please fix it. That time, when development team will fix that issue, Akash will fix and give it to you back. Ki, boss, I have fixed it. Now you will be able to upload or create a new story. Please test it. That time, that is called the retesting. Okay, you are again testing. By the name itself, retesting, it is coming. You are retesting, you are again testing it. That is called the retesting, right? And after doing v-testing, because in v-testing you will check only one functionality which is being fixed by the developer. After v-testing, you will test the complete Facebook application to check whether whatever Akash has fixed, it does not have an impact in the other functionality. Like story fixing does not have an impact in the uploading the pictures in the album, in the commenting part, in creating the reel. It should not have an impact in the other functionalities. That is called the regression testing. Okay, so this is very important thing, that you should know the difference between regression and the retesting. Okay, when any defect will get fixed, and it will, and developer will assign back to the tester, that is called retesting. And after retesting will get passed, after that particular functionality, when you will retest it, it will get passed, it will be working fine. Then after that you will test the complete Facebook application, that is called the regression testing. Okay, so yeah, so regression testing being always be done whenever any new change request has been come, whenever any defect got fixed, right? Whenever any changes in the environment has been done, that time your manager will ask to perform the regression testing. Okay, regression testing maintain the application. The main role of regression testing is to check whether our application is still stable or not, it is fine or not. After implementing the so many changes, your application should work fine, right? So that is called the regression testing. Okay, you can easily Google it also if you want different definition. Everything is present in the Google as well. Okay, here my main focus is to explain you the concept. Right, then we the type of testing after smoke sanity regression, we have a UAT testing, user acceptance testing, and we have already discussed user testing is the final testing of the application, right? When your application is ready to deployment, when you will say, boss, my testing is complete, now we can hand over this application to the client. That time we will do the user acceptance testing, because that is the final testing of the product before we deliver to the client. Okay, and user acceptance testing we have already discussed has been divided into alpha and beta. Alpha testing means when you are testing the application in front of the client in your own company, and beta testing when you are testing the application in the when a client is testing the application in its own company, that is called the beta testing. Okay, and yeah, so in UAT testing we analyze the different scenarios or the real-time scenarios in the environment called the UAT environment. Okay, so before we hand over the application to the customer, we will do the UAT testing. Okay, so this is the user acceptance testing. Then we have the exploratory testing. Exploratory testing is nothing when we don't have any document, you don't have any test plan, you don't have any test cases, you don't have any steps. You randomly sit. Suppose as of now you are sitting, you just open your Facebook application and try checking whether you will be able to find any defect or not. Okay. Sometimes it happens that we as a user also tend to find the defect, right? So without the use of any document, without the use of any requirement, when requirement is missing, okay, yeah, when any fresher is there, he doesn't have any knowledge on the testing part, then they can directly do the exploratory testing. In exploratory testing, you will first understand the flow of the application, then test the application in all the possible ways. Okay, understand the flow to exit. Okay, so basically in exploratory testing, you don't need any steps to go through. You simply understand the application in all the possible ways. Okay, make a document by your own, understand the flow of the application, and then test the application. Okay, if anyone is new, he can perform the exploratory testing. Exploratory testing and ad hoc testing is almost the same thing. In ad hoc testing means testing the application randomly or as soon as the wind has been given to you, right? Ad hoc means ad hoc. By the name itself, ad hoc. Now, suppose you are sitting idle and you will say, I will find the defect in the Facebook application. You will simply open the Facebook application and start reviewing where Facebook owner has done the mistake, where either the spelling mistake, font mistake, or functionality is not working fine, or story is getting hang, or unable to upload the music. So random checking, random testing, okay, without the use without following any protocols, without helping, without the use of a test manager, team member, document, test case, tool, just random testing ad hoc at any time without the use of any document. That is called the ad hoc testing. Okay, and it is also called the monkey testing and the gorilla testing, right? This is just for the information. Ad hoc itself is enough to understand. Okay, so in ad hoc testing, we will check the application. Uh, okay, so sometimes or you can say ad hoc testing, also known as negative testing, because here you will tend to break the application. Suppose you have to check the login part of the Facebook application. So what you will do, in the username and in the password text box, you will try to break the application, you will try to figure it out the defect. For that, you will give the random values, you will give the combination of the alphabets and the numbers, you will give only numbers, you will give the combination of the special characters and number, you will give 780, you will give only percentage. So you will give all the permutation and combination, okay, to break the application. It might happen that by giving the numbers only, and it will accept the username, right? Because generally what happened in the username, you will be able to give only the name and numbers, not the special characters, right? It will throw the error, enter the correct username, right? Or enter the username in the form of a characters. So if you will try to break the application giving the negative test data, like all rubbish test data, 5 times 0, all percentage, that is called your negative testing. So this you are doing ad hoc. Okay, these steps are not documented anywhere. You are doing it ad hoc, all of a sudden. Okay, and yeah, so simply you are using the application, finding the defect, and you can log the defect. Okay. Then refers to the about ad hoc testing. Okay. Then we have a security testing. By the name itself, security means you should determine the weakness, risk, or threats in the software application. Everyone knows every application should is always undergo the security testing, because if security testing has not been done, there are so many attackers, phishers, like who can hijack your Facebook password, who can who can identify, who can steal your pictures from the Facebook, right? Who can like outsiders who can attack your application, who can hack your password, and they can spread the different messages to others. So that is why our application should be secure, so that all testing should be done to avoid the nasty attack from outsiders, so that hackers will not hack your application. So once security testing will pass, that means hacker will hacker has a very least chance of attacking in your application. In other words, we can say that security testing is mainly used to define that the data will be safe, and your data, like your pictures in the Facebook, your comments, your internal messages, all are safe. Facebook company is saying, boss, your pictures, whatever pictures you are uploading, that are safe. Whatever doing you are whatever text message you are texting to anyone, that is safe. No one else can read, no one else can hijack the Facebook password. That is all comes under the security testing. Security tester will provide the security to the application. That is called the security testing. Okay, then we have a globalization testing. This is the another level of testing in which we check that develop software for multiple language. Suppose this Facebook application here, it is working in the English language, okay, but in the China, it should be work in the Chinese language. Facebook application should be translated into the Chinese language. Then yeah, so then we have a different language. So if globally we wanted to highlight our application, then if Facebook owner wants his application to be work in the China, US, Canada, then he will translate the Facebook into the different languages, multiple languages. Okay, and if so globalization tester will test on the Facebook application in the different language for the various language. Okay, so that has been taken care under globalization testing by the name itself, globally. Okay, so like most commonly used type of testing is like black box. One second. Yeah, so the most commonly used type of software testing is black box, white box, function, non-function, regression, ad hoc. So you should know at least these testing. White box testing you can ignore because it has been done by the development team. Okay, but all these definitions you should know what kind of a testing is this and what are the categories. Okay, tomorrow we will discuss about we have already discussed what is a defect. We will take it in a defect life cycle. What is the defect and how you will log the defect, and what is the defect life cycle. Okay, and if we have any test management tool, we will discuss about that. We will discuss about the defect life cycle and the tool Jira, because this is a license free tool that we can discuss little bit, so that you have some idea how to log the defect or how to create the defect in the test management tool. Okay, so that is all about for the today's session. If anyone has any question, he or she can post in the chat box. I will answer it. Thank you for cooperating with me. Tomorrow that session will be at 7 only. Today, due to some technical glitch, I have to change the timing. Okay, tomorrow the session will remain at 7 o'clock. So you all can join at the 7 p.m. Right? So no questions. So I'm taking it as a no. So should I hang up? Guys, please type in the chat box. Any questions? No questions? Okay, fine. Then we can hang up this call if no questions. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm hanging up the call.